Hey everybody, Ramey here, and today we're going to talk about running an effective and fast meeting. I'm going to give you some tips to make your meetings, make sure they're effective and make sure that they're fast. So you can kind of pick and choose, some of the stuff that I'm talking about. So why would I even bother? Why do I care about running an effective meeting or a fast meeting? I mean, it seems pretty obvious, but the biggest thing is that meetings can be a huge waste of time or really beneficial. So you want to make them beneficial. They also cost money. It doesn't always seem that way, but let's just take an example. So let's say you invite 4 people to a meeting. So that's you and 4 other people. Let's say the average salary of all 4 people is $100,000 a year. So that means it costs, add 30% for benefits and everything. It costs everyone there at the meeting. It's about $65 per person to be at the meeting per hour. That's $325 an hour all of a sudden. One meeting costs your company $325. If you have a full day meeting, it costs your company $2,600. That's just because you invited 4 people to a meeting. It costs $2,600. All right, let's say you invited, 9 people to a meeting. So that's 10 people, $650 an hour using the same numbers all of a sudden, and $5,200 per day that you have that meeting. So you so figure out how many meetings did you have per year? How many meetings did you have this year? And think about the amount of money that's being spent. And that doesn't include the time people took to get there. Were they able to get to the meeting really quick? Maybe it took them a half an hour to get there, half an hour to get back. So that 1 hour was 2 hours, stuff like that. So meetings can cost a lot. So why you want them to be effective? Because you don't want to waste money and don't want to waste people's time. So let's talk about how to do that. All right. So some of these things that I'm talking about are like common sense. Like obviously you're going to do this when you want to have an effective meeting. No kidding. But maybe not all of them are. So let me talk through them. All right. The first thing, have an agenda. Obviously, you always want an agenda for a meeting. I don't think I need to tell people this, but you have to bring it up when you're talking about running an effective meeting. You have to have an agenda. Now, on the agenda, what I like to do, like if I'm having an hour meeting, I know my meeting can only be 1 hour. I will put times on each item and say, we can only talk about this for 15 minutes because at 15 minutes, we have to move on to the next point. What does that do? That means at 15 minutes, and sometimes I'll even set an alarm if I'm not like paying attention to the clock. Beep, next point, no matter where we are. Helps us move on and ensure that I get to all 5 or 10 points that I have for my meeting. Otherwise, I've been at meetings where we spend the whole time talking about one topic. Sometimes it was necessary, but most of the time it's not necessary. People get off track and they like to, talk about something that specifically affects them that could have been done out of the meeting at a different time because it didn't impact everyone. So to get to my next point, facilitate. You have to facilitate. If you are holding the meeting, you have to facilitate. One of the easiest ways to do that is to set it up before the meeting starts. The agenda and the time helps facilitate already because everyone knows these are the rules of the meeting. So you're just going to make sure that they're followed. You have to keep people on track. When you realize that someone's asking a question that can be done offline via email and doesn't affect everyone, you tell them right away, we'll take care of that later. Okay. Next thing, don't have a recurring meeting. This drives me insane. Don't have recurring meetings. How about have a meeting when we actually have to have a meeting? Some people say, well, in Agile, we have to, or whatever it is they're doing. Do not have a recurring meeting. Have a meeting every time you actually need to have a meeting. Otherwise, you're wasting time. Next thing, don't have a meeting to plan more meetings. Don't have a meeting to plan more meetings. All right, last 2 points. Use email. Communicate with people. There are so many meetings that I sat through that were informational that someone could have sent me an email. I could have read the email in 5 minutes instead of wasting an hour of my time. Use email when appropriate. Look at what you're going to go through in the meeting. Can I do this via email? Maybe not all of it, but maybe parts. Maybe I could have cut my meeting down from 1 hour to 45 minutes or 30 minutes. Maybe I didn't need a meeting at all. Use email and tell people when they ask that question that's going to disrupt the flow of the meeting, I will respond to you via email. That also helps me avoid having a meeting to plan meetings. I can use email or a calendar feature in any piece of software to schedule meetings. I don't need to have a meeting to plan more meetings. All right. And finally, my last one, and this is my favorite. If I want to have a fast meeting, this pretty much guarantees a fast meeting. I don't think I've ever worked in a workplace that this wouldn't guarantee a fast meeting. And I got this isn't an idea of my own. This is an idea that I got from a major tech company that does this to ensure that their meetings are short and sweet. Have no chairs in the conference room. What does this do? Makes everyone stand during the meeting. When everyone's standing, everyone wants to go back to their desk and sit. The meeting will be fast. People won't ask unnecessary questions. Everyone will get to the point. It will be a smooth, effective meeting. Have everyone stand up. Just tell everyone to push the chairs in, stand up. I realize that this doesn't work in some cases, and there are times when you couldn't do this or you wouldn't want to ask people to do that. But if you need to have a quick meeting and you really want it to be effective, either get rid of the chairs or make everyone stand, and it does work. So just to rehash my points, have an agenda. Have a time for each topic that you're going to spend on it. Make sure you actually facilitate the meeting. Don't plan a recurring meeting. Don't have meetings to plan more meetings. Use email when possible. Or talk, one-on-one with people when you need to, so you're not wasting everybody's time. And have everyone stand up. That's it. Those are my tips to run an effective meeting and a fast meeting. Thank you guys. Have a good day. Bye.